Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 1985 playoffs in season ticket baseball. After watching the St. Louis Cardinals have a bullpen meltdown in Game 2 of their series with the Astros, we are here at Anaheim Stadium, where the California Angels are hoping that fate does not befall them. The Toronto Blue Jays, however, don't much care what fate, how they get there, but Toronto would love to get this series back to Canada, with Toronto holding a 2-0 lead. As you can probably guess, the Blue Jays do lead this series 1-0, and that's what the dials are tracking up here. Those are for the series score. So we'll be using the main scoreboard, of course, to keep score for everything there. So after Toronto's win in Game 1 by a final score of 9-4, we are all set for the action here at Anaheim Stadium. Fans are filing, and we're expecting a sellout tonight, so let's jump right into the action. Starting pitcher for the California Angels tonight is Ron Romanic. 14-9 with a 4.11 ERA. 195 innings pitched, 64 strikeouts, 62 walks, and 29 home runs in 85. While the rest of the Angels get loose behind Romanic, we will take our first look at the Blue Jays starting lineup. Leading off tonight, we have got Willie Upshaw at first base, Tony Fernandez at shortstop, Jesse Barfield is in right field, George Bell is in left field, Rance Mulliniks is at third base, Lloyd Moseby is in center field, Ernie Witt is catching, Damaso Garcia is at second base, and Lou Thornton is the designated hitter tonight. That is the lineup that Romanic will have to keep in check. The Blue Jays have some explosive bats in this lineup. We'll see if their power comes out to play tonight. Leading off for the Blue Jays is Willie Upshaw. 275 average, 15 home runs, 65 RBIs in 85. We are using blue, white, and red dice tonight. Angels are the home team. Probably the same dice when this series moves up to Canada, and the Blue Jays are the home team. Speaking of Canada, Toronto looking to bring this series north of the border with a 2-0 lead. Angels hoping to reset this series and get a best-of-3 going on. Which team will achieve their goal tonight? Only the dice know, and in order to find out what the dice know, Romanic is going to get the sign from Boone, and then we are going to go to the same place that every other game starts. That is with the first pitch. And we will start off with a 389, and a 389 will be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that one for the Angels is going to be Pettis. He will make the catch, 1 out in the inning, and we are underway here at Anaheim Stadium. Tony Fernandez is now the batter for the Blue Jays. 289 average, 2 home runs, 51 RBIs in 85. Romanic will get the sign from Boone. He will set, here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 595. That's going to be into right field. Going after that is Jackson. And a 595. That's going to get past Jackson, get to the wall, and Fernandez will be safe at second as Jackson gets the throw in there. But Fernandez will slide in with a double. And the Blue Jays may be picking up where they left off in Game 1. Jesse Barfield, now the batter for the Blue Jays. 289 average, 27 home runs, 84 RBIs in 85. California's got to be looking at this as an elimination game. They are probably not going to have a long leash for Romanic tonight if he starts to get into trouble. Romanic will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 609, and a 609 is going to be a swing and a miss by Barfield as he gets in front of a changeup for strike 3. That is out number 2 in the inning. George Bell is now the batter for the Blue Jays. 275 average, 28 home runs, 95 RBIs in 85. He will be the batter. Romanic will get the sign from Boone. He will set, here's the kick, and here comes the pitch. That is a 656, and a 656 will be grounded over to shortstop. Getting after that one is going to be Schofield. He will take his time with that one, move it over to first, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the double for the Blue Jays, as I forgot to note it here. Score is now Toronto 0, California coming to bat. As we are underway here at Exhibition Stadium. Starting pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays tonight is Doyle Alexander. 17-10 with a 3.45 ERA, 260 and 2/3 innings pitched, 142 strikeouts, 67 walks, 28 home runs in 85. As the rest of the Blue Jays get loose behind Alexander, we will take our first look at the Angels' starting lineup. Leading off tonight, I will tab back into Digital Diamond so I can make sure the focus is nice and clean on these. Bobby Grich is at second base. Gary Pettis is in left field. Brian Downing is in center field. Actually, I got those backwards. Gary Pettis is in center field. Brian Downing's in left field. I can't read my own handwriting, apparently. Reggie Jackson is in right field. Rupert Jones is the designated hitter. Doug DeCinces is at third base. Juan Beniquez is at first base. Bob Boone is catching. And Dick Schofield is the shortstop. I'm going to see if I can clean that up real quick. So Gary Pettis should be in center field. Downing in left. Okay. Got that figured out. Leading off for the Angels is Bobby Grich. 242 average, 13 home runs, 53 RBIs in 85. As ID Jester is first to join us here at Anaheim Stadium. And I just saw a comment. Another stream. How's it going? Another game tonight? That's 2 streams today, 3 videos, because I did do Mystical Munchies earlier this morning. And I was hoping to get a double header, and I originally wasn't going to, but the Halfling Iron Rations actually went pretty quickly. I was able to get everything working the way I wanted that to. So I'm going to be able to get 2 games in tonight, and I should still have plenty of time to set up tomorrow morning's stream of Arc Nova. So we will come back to that later. Alexander, coming back to California, Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, here's the windup, and here's Toronto's first pitch of Game 2. We will start off with a 464 for Grich against a righty. A 464 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Grabbing that one is going to be Fernandez. He will make the play over to first, and that will be out number 1 in the inning. California does not want to go north of the border, down 0-2. Gary Pettis, the center fielder, is now the batter. 257 average, 1 home run, 32 RBI in 85. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 189, and a 189 is going to be a bloop single for Pettis, as he will get on with a 1-out single. The infield will go to double play depth for the Blue Jays, and the batter now will be Brian Downing. 263 average, 20 home runs, 85 RBIs in 85. Pettis is not really a threat to steal. He will hold. Downing's got good power. He's going to swing away. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set. Here's the kick, and here comes the pitch. Oop. That is a 439 against a righty. A 439 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Fernandez will pick that one up. He'll throw that to Garcia at second to get Pettis. Garcia will make the pivot over to Upshot first. That is in time. Downing's out. That will be a 6-4-3 double play, and the side is retired. Nothing across except the single for the Angels. We are scoreless here at Anaheim Stadium after 1. Toronto looking to send this series north of the border with a 2-0 stranglehold on it. California trying to make sure that doesn't happen. And me trying not to drop my book. Setting up a game of Too Many Bones. Won't be posting too much to chat. That's all good, Jester. Glad to see you here listening. Lurking and listening is very much welcome. Top of the second coming up, and we've got the middle of the Blue Jays order up. Rance Mullenix is now the batter. 295 average, 10 home runs, 57 RBIs, and 85. Romanek will look in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 659, and a 659 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Grabbing that one is going to be Schofield. He will move that over to first for out number 1. The Angels are trying not to give anything up tonight. Lloyd Moseby is now the batter. 259 average, 18 home runs, 70 RBIs, and 85. They watched in previous games as free base runners gave endless trouble. Romanek gets the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 389. And a 389 is going to be a fly ball into left field. Getting under that for California is going to be Downing. He will make the catch coming in on a trot. 2 outs in the inning. Ernie Whitt is now the batter. 245 average, 19 home runs, 64 RBIs, and 85. He will be the batter. Romanek looking to Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 135, and a 135 is going to be a ground ball over to first. Grabbing that one is going to be Beniquez. He will throw that over to Romanek coming over to cover. That will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Blue Jays here in the top of the second. We are still scoreless as California gets ready to have their turn at the plate for the bottom of the second. Super long email. No, it was pretty long, but you had some time to respond to my email. Yes, I did look at it, and I've been kind of pruning it to see what catches my eye on that. I'm going to continue doing a little bit of research, probably while I'm setting up Arc Nova tonight for tomorrow morning's stream. Bottom of the second coming up, and the leadoff man is some bum that we might not ever hear of again for California. Some guy by the name of Reggie Jackson. I hear he's going to be pretty good someday. 252 average, 27 home runs, 85 RBIs, and 85. He will be the batter. Alexander will get the sign from Whitt. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 395, and a 395 is going to be a swing and a miss for Jackson as he tries to do too much with a changeup. That is strike 3, and that will be out number 1. I think Jackson knows the desperate situation California's in, so he tried to do too much right there. Here's Rupert Jones, the designated hitter. 231 average, 21 home runs, 67 RBIs, and 85. Angels are trying to feed off this home crowd. Alexander will get the sign from Whitt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 242 against a lefty. 242 is going to be a ground ball over to first. Upshaw will grab that one. He will throw that, actually, 242. Yep, ground ball over to Upshaw. He'll throw that over to Alexander coming over to cover the bag. 2 outs in the inning. Doug DeCinces will take his first turn at the plate tonight. 244 average, 20 home runs, 78 RBIs, and 85. Alexander will get the sign from Whitt. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 486. And a 486 against a righty is going to be a fly ball into center field. Tracking that one down for the Blue Jays is Moseby. He will be near the track. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels here in the bottom of the second. Still no score in Anaheim after 2. Top of the third brings us to the bottom of the Blue Jays order. Damaso Garcia leading off. 282 average, 8 home runs, 65 RBIs in 85. Romanic will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 630. And at 630, Garcia is going to pop that one up on the infield. Calling everybody off in the infield grass is going to be Schofield. He will make the catch, and that will be out number 1. Lou Thornton, now the batter. 236 average, 1 home run, 8 RBIs in 85. How did this guy make a playoff lineup? Romanic will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. I don't know what Digital Diamond was thinking, but that's a 546. That's going over to second base, where Gritch is looking at that one, and that'll be a ground ball right to Gritch. He will take his time, throw that over to first. 2 outs in the inning. Upshaw, now the batter. Upshaw tonight is 0 for 1. Romanic looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 192. And a 192 is going to be a bloop single for Upshaw. He will continue the inning. And here's Fernandez. Fernandez tonight is 1 for 1. He's got the double. He's got a double. Romanic trying to keep this game right where it is. He will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 606, and that's going to be a called strike 3 on Fernandez as a changeup catches the corner of the zone, catches the inside corner. Strike 3, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Blue Jays. Actually, no, nothing across except the single for the Blue Jays. We are still scoreless heading into the bottom of the third. Fans here at Anaheim Stadium are loud behind their Angels, hoping California can even this series so we have a best of 3 starting in Canada. Bottom of the third, we'll see the bottom of California's order as Juan Benitez steps into the batter's box. 304 average, 8 home runs, 42 RBIs in 85. He will be the batter. Alexander will look to Witt for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 444 against a righty. A 444 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that is Mullenix. He will throw that across the diamond, and that will be the first out of the inning. Bob Boone is now the batter for the Angels. 248 average, 5 home runs, 55 RBIs in 85. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 327, and a 327 is going to be another ground ball right back over to third. Getting that one once again is going to be Mullenix. He will run the exact same play back to first. 2 outs in the inning. Dick Schofield now takes his turn at the plate. 219 average, 8 home runs, 41 RBIs, and 85. Alexander walking around with a swagger at the mound. He will get the sign from Witt. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 268 against a righty. A 268 is going to be a fly ball into right field. Barfield going back for that one. He's near the track, but he will have enough room to make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels here in the bottom of the third. Still no score in Anaheim after 3. Got a pitcher's duel brewing here. You got to wonder which team is going to break through first. Leading off the top of the fourth, we've got the heart of the Blue Jays order as Barfield now steps up. Barfield is 0 for 1. Romanek doing a great job so far keeping this game scoreless. He will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 394 and a 394. Barfield's going to get frozen by the high heat for strike 3. That is out number 1. Looks at the umpire, says, that pitch was high. The umpire says, no, you're high. You're also out. Go sit. 1 out in the inning, and Bell is now the batter. Bell grounded out his first time up. Still scoreless here at Anaheim Stadium. Romanek looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 198, and a 198 is going to get popped up on the infield. Getting under that at third base, slightly on the foul side, is going to be DeCinces. He will make the catch. 2 outs in the inning. Two outs, and the batter now is Mullinix. Mullinix is 0 for 1 tonight. Romanek hoping for another nice, easy 1-2-3 inning. He will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 165, and a 165 is going to be a walk for Mullinix, and the inning will continue. Mosby, now the batter. Mosby flew out his first time up. Fans at Anaheim Stadium are loud. Romanek gets the sign from Mullinix. From Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 477 against a righty. A 477 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that one is going to be DeCinces. He will take his time, move that over to first, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except for the walk for the Blue Jays as we continue to have all goose eggs heading into the bottom of the fifth. Or bottom of the fourth, I should say. We're not an inning ahead yet. At least the game is going quick so far. Get a few innings in the books before the insanity starts. I'm just waiting for the hammer to drop the way it did in the seventh of the Houston-St. Louis game. Good grief. Bottom of the fourth brings the top of the Angels order up. Here's Grich. Grich is 0 for 1. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 580. Actually, that's a 385. And a 385 is going to be a base hit for Grich. He will lead off with a single to start this inning. The Blue Jays infield will go to double play depth. The batter now is Pettis. Pettis tonight is 1 for 1 with a single. The Angels, I think they're going to try a little bit of small ball here. Well, small ball or a hit and run? I think they're going to go... They could do either one, really, but I think Pettis is going to bunt. And the corners are going to come in expecting this. The Blue Jays figured they're going to try something. All right. So Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and here comes the pitch. Let's see, 7-14-22 on the bunt is going to be a good sacrifice. That's over to third base. Grabbing that is going to be Mullinix. He will take the out at first. Grich will move to second. So Grich moves to second. 1 out in the inning. Pettis gets the bunt down. Downing, now the batter. Downing hit into a double play his first time up. Grich over at second, edging off the bag. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 603. That'll turn into a 613. Swing and a miss by Downing as he's out in front of a curveball. Strike 3, that is out number 2. Stadium groans. Ugh. Here's Jackson. Jackson also struck out his first time up. This is 2 strikeouts for Alexander tonight. He will get the sign from Witt. Alexander will set, he will kick, and here's the pitch. That is a 101. That'll turn into a 301, and Jackson's going to swing through a slider for strike 3, his second strikeout of the game, but that will retire the side. A hit and a bunt, but the Angels can't do anything with Grich at second. We are still scoreless here after 4 with the pitcher's duel brewing. Top of the 5th coming up brings us to the bottom of the Blue Jays order. Here's Witt. Witt tonight is 0 for 1. Ramonic will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 696. Uh-oh. And that's going to be a leadoff walk as Witt will trot to first after Ramonic loses control of a changeup for ball 4. That'll miss the outside corner. Witt goes to first. Infield goes to double play depth, and here's Garcia. Garcia popped out his first time up. He popped out to short. Witt, not much of a threat to steal. He will hold. Garcia's got decent power. He's going to swing away. Yeah, he's going to swing away. Ramonic gets the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 697, and that's going to be another walk as Ramonic has now given up 2 leadoff walks. Thornton, now the batter. Thornton tonight is 0 for 1, and ooh, if you're California, do you start warming up your bullpen now? With runners at first and second, I think you do start warming up the bullpen here because you can't afford to let these bats get going for Toronto. So getting loose for the Angels already here in the 5th. Plus, Ramonic's had his fatigue inning anyway. Let's see. The Angels, let me make sure he's not part of the postseason rotation for California. He is not. So getting loose for the Angels is going to be Jim Slayton. He's going to start throwing in the Angels bullpen. They're not going to have a long leash on Ramonic tonight. Ramonic will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 663. And a 663 is going to be grounded over to first. Grabbing that one for the Angels is Benitez. He will throw that over to first. Actually, he will throw that over to Ramonic, covering over to cover. 1 out in the inning, but everybody is going to move up. One out in the inning, and now the infield has got to play in. The batter now is Upshaw. Upshaw tonight is 1 for 2. This is a very dangerous situation if you're an Angels fan. Witt is not going on contact, not with a speed of 0. Let's just check arms just to make sure. Arm of 5. DeCinces with a 3. Benitez with a 2. Yeah. Witt is not going on contact. Although he probably, 1 out. Yeah, he's going on contact. Ramonic will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 658. And a 658 is going to be a base hit past short, and the Blue Jays are going to take the lead. Witt and Garcia will both score. Witt and Garcia will both score. Upshot a second. 2-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Stadium groans. Ugh. Infield at double play depth. Batter now is Fernandez. Fernandez is 0 for 2. Upshaw Not much of a threat to steal. I mean, he could try, but no, he will hold. Actually, they're going to do a hit and run with Upshaw, or with Fernandez. Romanek will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 699. And a 699 would normally be a walk, but with a walk on a hit and run, batter's going to foul off 2 pitches. So that'll be 2 strikes on Fernandez. Hit and run's called off. Fernandez will swing like normal. So let's do that again. This time it's a 658. And a 658 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Getting to that one is Schofield. He will throw that over to second to get Grich. Grich will try to make the pivot over to Benitez at first, but it won't be in time. 2 outs in the inning. That will be a G6-4 fielder's choice. Fielder's choice, Phoenix. Fernandez is at first. 2 outs in the inning. Barfield is now the batter. Barfield is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts tonight. Romanek looking in at Boone for the sign. Fans at Anaheim Stadium are nervous. Romanek will set, and he will pitch. That is a 641. And a 641 is going to be a ground ball over to first. Benitez will grab that one. He'll throw that over to Schofield covering short, and that will be the last out and retire the side. But the Blue Jays strike first. 2 runs on 2 walks and a hit. And the Blue Jays now holding a 2-0 lead at the halfway point of this game. Bottom of the 5th brings us to the middle of the Angels' order. Here's Jones. Jones tonight is 0 for 1. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 240. And against a lefty, a 240 is going to be a ground ball over to first. Upshaw will get that one. Alexander coming over to cover the bag. Upshaw will toss it to him. 1 out in the inning. Pretty far to the second base side of the bag, but Upshaw able to get it. Alexander coming over to cover the bag. Here's DeCinces. DeCinces tonight is 0 for 1. Alexander looking in to Witt for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. 132. 132 is going to be a fly ball into center field. Mosby tracking that one down near the track. He'll make the catch. 2 outs in the inning. DeCinces has gotten into a couple of fly balls, but the batter now is Benitez. Benitez tonight is 0 for 1. Alexander looking in at Witt for the sign. Blue Jays lead game 2, 2-0. Alexander will set, and he will pitch. That is a 465 against a righty. A 465 is going to be a base hit into right field. Benitez is not going to try to extend. Ooh, yeah, he's definitely not going to try to extend that into a double. He will be content with a single with 2 outs. Batter now is Boone. Boone tonight is 0 for 1. Just see if I can. There we go. Wanted to make sure I could read that a little bit more. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 165, and a 165 is going to be a walk. Boone will work a walk out of the at-bat. And now the go-ahead run is on his way to the plate in the form of Schofield. Schofield tonight is 0 for 1. Jarred the camera a little bit. I'll check that just to make sure everything's okay. Yep, everything looks fine there. Okay. Now that we've got that sorted out, Schofield is at the plate. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 100 even. That'll turn into a 300 even, and Schofield gets frozen by a slider for strike 3 on the inside corner. That will retire the side. Stadium groans. Ugh. A hit and a walk, but the Angels are not able to do anything with any of it. Blue Jays now holding a 2-0 lead after 5. And now is where the Angels bench is going to start watching Romanek very, very closely. As now the Angels cannot afford to let this game go any further out of control. Leading off the top of the 6th is Bell. Bell is 0 for 2 tonight. They will let Romanek continue to pitch, but Slayton is definitely getting ready to come in. Romanek will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 197, and a 197 is going to get popped up on the infield. DeCinces is calling everybody off in the infield grass. He will make that catch, and that will be 1 out in the inning. That should be a P5, not a G5. Actually, P5 would be third base. So DeCinces is calling everybody off. DeCinces' counterpart, Mullenix, is now the batter. Mullenix is 0 for 1. He's got a walk tonight. Romanek looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. A 244 against a lefty. A 244 is going to be a 594. Going after that is Jackson, and that's going to drop behind Jackson. Mullenix will be at second with a double. Mosby, now the batter. That's also the first point of pitcher fatigue against Romanek. Mosby tonight is 0 for 2. Romanek hoping this doesn't get any worse. Slayton still throwing. Romanek will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 507. That's going to give us a rare play with the runner on second. Let's see what happens here. Runner on second, less than 2 outs. Okay. Let's see what we get for a rare play here. That will be a 664. And a 664 says it's going to be a deep drive to left. Left fielder makes the catch, but crashes into the wall and falls down. Runner 2 tags to third, tags and advances easily to third, and tries to score. Runner on second must try to score by challenging the left fielder's arm. So that's going to be an F7 for 2 outs. And then Mullenix easily makes third, and he's got to challenge the left fielder's arm. The left fielder is downing with an arm of a 3. Mullenix has got a 3. Here he comes around the plate. Mullenix has got to beat a 13 to the plate. I'll re-roll that because that's actually important. 8. Here comes the throw from Downing. Mullenix getting waved around. He will slide. There's the tag. It is in time. Mullenix is thrown out at the plate. Side retired. Stadium cheers. Yay! Let's see if I can enter this. So, see if that'll enter correctly and do what I want it to. Wait. Okay, so I'm gonna have to enter this in Digital Diamond a little bit differently. So let's go. I'm hoping an F7X is gonna do this. Let's see. Here we go. So F7R. Let's go F7R2X. That should do it. Let's just make sure. Yep, that will indeed do it for the Blue Jays. A hit, nothing across except the double for the Blue Jays. We're still looking at 2-0 Toronto as we get set for the bottom of the 6th. Sorry for the delay there. I was making sure Digital Diamond did what I wanted it to. So Downing takes a hard run into the outfield wall, but he's able to easily throw out Mullenix. And yep, I double checked when I jarred the camera earlier to make sure the camera was still fine. I just didn't want to get it knocked off center or anything. Alexander finishing up his warm-up tosses while we talk, and the batter now is Gritch. He will lead off for the Angels. Gritch is 1 for 2 with a single tonight. Alexander will look in at Witt for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 633. That'll turn into a 643 and be a ground ball over to first. Grabbing that is going to be Upshaw. He will wave off Alexander coming over to cover the bag. He'll take that to the bag himself. 1 out in the inning. Pettis is now the batter. Pettis is 1 for 1. He also has a sacrifice bunt. 2-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th. Toronto leads 1-0. Alexander gets the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 537. That's over to first base where Upshaw is waiting for that one. And that's going to be a base hit into right field past Upshaw. Could they wave Pettis around? Actually, no. They're not going to wave Pettis around. They're going to hold him at first. The Angels do not want to make any stupid decisions here. The infield will go to double play depth. The batter now is Downing. Downing tonight is 0 for 2. Pettis, you try to steal a base here. They're going to see if he can at least get the lead. They might want to try to create something here. So Pettis is going to try to get the jump, and he will not get the jump. Alexander will throw check on him. Pettis will get back to the bag safe and sound. So no play there. Alexander will now turn and deal with Downing. He will get the sign from Witt, and he will pitch. That is a 498. And against a righty of 498, Downing is going to get frozen by a curveball on the outside corner for strike 3. That is out number 2. Downing says to the umpire, hey, that pitch was out of bounds. The umpire says, no, you're out of bounds. You're also out. Go sit. Stadium groans. Ugh. Jackson, now the batter. Jackson is 0 for 2. He's been trying to do a lot by himself tonight. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Alexander will set, and he will pitch. That is a 284. And again, against a lefty at 284, Jackson's into one that is deep to right field. Jackson with a power of a 9. He is very capable of tying this game right now. The question now, can he? Jackson will tie this game with a boom! That ball is hit high. That ball is hit deep to right field. Going back for that one is Barfield. He's back to the track, back to the wall, and that ball is gone. Home run, Reggie Jackson. We are tied at 2. Stadium cheers. Yay! Alexander shaking his head. He knew that one was out of here as soon as it left his bat. As soon as it left Jackson's bat. Alexander threw him a meatball. Jackson turned that into pizza and tied the game. Batter now is Jones. Jones is 0 for 2. Suddenly, fans at Anaheim Stadium are loud. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. On a 209, that'll turn into a 409 against a lefty, and Jones is going to work a 2-out walk out of the at-bat. Alexander may be being a little bit cautious, but Jones will work a 2-out walk out of the at-bat. And the batter now is DeCinces. DeCinces tonight is 0 for 2. Suddenly, we are tied at 2 in the bottom of the 6th, and this game looks very different now. Alexander looking into Witt for the sign. Jones at first. DeCinces at the plate. Alexander will set, and he will pitch. On a 535, that's over to first base where Upshaw's waiting for that one. That'll be a ground ball right at him. Upshaw will wave off Alexander coming over to cover. He'll take that to first, and that will retire the side. 2 runs on 2 hits. A 2-run blast by Reggie Jackson ties the game at 2 after 6. And all of a sudden, this one looks very different. And yes, indeed, the crowd goes crazy chanting, Reggie, Reggie. Romanek will finish up his warm-up tosses. He will come out to pitch to start the top of the 7th, but I suspect the first sign of trouble, they're going to yank him. Here is Witt. Witt tonight, though, is 0 for 1 with a walk. Romanek looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 429 against a righty. A 429 is going to be a base hit into center field. Witt will hold it second, or will hold it first. Make sure we get this straight. The infield will go to double play depth. Batter is Garcia. Garcia tonight is 0 for 1 with a walk, and that is going to be it for Romanek. They're not going to take any chances here. The Angels do not want what happened to the Cardinals to happen to them. Coming in to pitch for the Angels is going to be Jim Slayton. 6-10 with a 4.37 ERA, 148 1/3 innings pitched, 60 strikeouts, 63 walks, and 22 home runs in 85. He will be the pitcher now, and he'll face Garcia. Slayton will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 665, and a 665 is going to be grounded right back to Slayton. He will throw that over to Benitez at first. 1 out in the inning. Actually, 665. Actually, that's the other way around. Benitez will take that. Slayton will come over to cover. And that'll be 1 out in the inning. Witt will still end up at second either way. Right. Thornton, now the batter. Thornton is 0 for 2 tonight. Slayton trying to keep this game right where it is. He will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 422 against a righty. A 422 is going to be a ground ball over to second. Grabbing that one for the Angels is going to be Grich. He will throw that over to first. 2 outs in the inning. Witt will move over to third. Upshaw will be the batter. Upshaw tonight is 2 for 3. We are going to get some activity in Toronto's bullpen as getting loose for the Blue Jays. Let's see, who are they starting the inning with? Righties. Getting loose for the Blue Jays, somebody who can counter righties well, is going to be Jim Acker. He's going to come in. He's going to start getting loose for the Blue Jays. He's there in case Alexander starts to run into trouble. He will come out to start the 7th. Slayton will get the sign from Boone. Witt will wait off of first. Off of second. Slayton will set, and he will pitch. That is a 583. That's into Pettis at center field, And that's going to be a fly ball. Pettis will make that catch on the jaw, on the run. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Blue Jays as we head into the 7th inning stretch. Sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I will take a small break. As Philip Anderson now joins us here at Anaheim Stadium. And yes, indeed, don't want to see a big inning for the away team again. The Angels are trying to learn their lessons from the Blue Jays, or the Angels are trying to learn their lessons from the Cardinals game earlier this afternoon. Don't forget, we will be playing Arc Nova tomorrow morning at the normal time. Tomorrow afternoon, we will be over at Dodger Stadium for Game 2 of the National League Division Series between the Montreal Expos and the Los Angeles Dodgers. We have got a doozy of a pitching matchup lined up for you in that one. Bryn Smith will be on the mound for the Expos against Fernando Valenzuela up for the Dodgers. That should be a really good matchup in Game 2 at Dodger Stadium. Expos and the Dodgers. Bottom of the 7th coming up for the Angels here in Anaheim, and we are back to the bottom of the California order. Here's Beniquez. Beniquez is 0 for 1 with a single tonight. Acker continuing to throw for the Blue Jays. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 439 against a righty. A 439 is going to be grounded over to short. Fernandez will get to that one. He will throw that over to first, out number 1. Here's Boone. Boone tonight is 0 for 1 with the walk. Alexander gets the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 323. And a 323, he just missed it. That'll be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that one for the Blue Jays is Mullenix. He will throw that over to first. Nothing crazy. Out number 2. Jarred the camera once again, but I think everything's fine. It didn't seem like it moved too much. Actually, I'll tab into OBS real quick and check that off while the ball goes around the infield. And yes, Expos Dodgers is a good series. Dodgers lead that series 1-0, but the Expos came back with 2 defiant runs in the top of the 9th, showing the Dodgers that they're not going to go quietly into that good night. And here's Schofield. Schofield is 0 for 2. Alexander will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. And that is a 168. A 168 is going to be a base hit into right field. Schofield will be content with a 2-out single. And that'll be the first point of fatigue against Alexander. The Blue Jays, though, are going to have a little bit longer leash, especially since there are 2 outs in the inning. Here's Grich. Grich tonight is 1 for 3. Alexander looking in at Witt for the sign. Fans at Anaheim Stadium are loud. Alexander will set, and he will pitch. That is a 176. And a 176 is going to be a wild pitch, and Schofield will move over to second with the go-ahead run. Alexander uncorks a wild one. Ball 1, we will do it again. This time it's a 465, and against a righty, a 465 is going to be grounded over to short. Fernandez will grab that one. He will take his time, throw that over to first, and that will retire the side. A hit and a wild pitch, but the Angels are not able to get anything out of that. We remain, I take that back. 2 runs on, right? Wait a minute. No. The 2 runs came in the 6th, so the Angels don't get anything out of that except the single and the wild pitch. We are knotted at 2 after 7 here at Anaheim Stadium. Top of the 8th brings us back to the top of the California order. Here's Fernandez. Fernandez tonight is 1 for 3. He's got a double. Slayton looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set and he will pitch. That's a 246, and against a switch left, a 246 is going to be a 5 left field. He will get under that one coming in slightly. He'll make the... As I was saying, Pettis will make the catch, and that is out number 1. OBS deciding to be dumb tonight, as seems to be usual lately. Here's Barfield. Barfield tonight is 0 for 3. You kind of think he might be due. Slayton will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That's a 171. 171 is going to be a wild pitch. Ball 1. We will do it again. This time it's a 198, and a 198 is going to be a base hit into right field. Barfield, no, he's not gonna test it. Not with Bell coming up. I was looking at testing Jackson's arm, but no, that's a dumb idea. Infield will go to double play depth. Bell now the batter. Bell tonight is 0 for 3. You think he might be due. But Slayton will look into Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the kick, and here comes the pitch. That is a 438 against a righty. A 438 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Schofield will pick that one up. He'll throw it over to Gritch. That'll get Barfield. Gritch will make the pivot over to Beniquez at first. That is in time. That is a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Stadium cheers. Yay! Blue Jays get a hit, but they can't do anything with it as the double play kills their inning. We are still tied at 2, heading into the bottom of the 8th. We've got a great one here tonight. Alexander is going to come out of the game, though. The Blue Jays are going to go to the bullpen. As coming in to pitch for the Blue Jays is going to be Jim Acker. 7-2 with a 3.23 ERA. 86 1/3 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, 43 walks, and 7 home runs in 85. Leading off for the Angels in the bottom of the 8th is Pettis. Pettis tonight is 2 for 2 with a sacrifice hit. Acker will get the sign from Witt. Fans at Anaheim Stadium, not one of them have left their seats. Acker will set, and he will pitch. That is a 467 against a righty. A 467. Pettis is going to get into one. That'll get all the way to the wall. It'll take a while to cover it. Pettis will be at third base with a lead-off triple. Wow. That is what the Angels needed. That jolts this Anaheim crowd to life. The infield will have to come in on that one. And the batter now is Downing. Downing tonight is 0 for 3. Pettis is going on contact. I am almost 99% sure of that. The go-ahead run is just 90 feet away. Let's see. 3. I'm checking arms in case you're wondering what I'm doing. 1-1. Oh, yeah. Pettis is most definitely going on contact. He is the last guy the Blue Jays want 90 feet away with the go-ahead run. Acker will get the sign from Witt. Fans at Anaheim Stadium are on their feet. They are loud. Acker will set, and he will pitch. That is a 533. 533 to Upshaw is going to be a ground ball right at him, but the throw is going to come to the plate. Pettis with a speed of a 7. He's got to beat a 13 to the plate. Can he? Here comes the throw from Upshaw. Pettis making the throw. Pettis charging. Here comes the throw from Upshaw. Pettis slides. The throw is high. Pettis is safe. Angels take the lead. Downing goes to first. Pettis scores. Angels take the lead 3-2. Stadium cheers. Yay! Batter now is Jackson. Jackson is 1 for 3, but that one was the 2-run home run that tied this game. Acker has got to shake that one off. He will get the sign from Witt. California fans are loud. Acker will set, and he will pitch. That will be a 537. That's right back to Upshaw, and that'll be a base hit into right field. Downing will be content with advancing on the single. And now the Angels have something going on. Still nobody out in the inning. Batter now is Jones. Jones tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. Blue Jays are going to get some activity in their bullpen as they've got to stop this carnage. Let's see, countering righties. Getting loose for the Blue Jays is going to be... who is getting loose for the Blue Jays? The Blue Jays are going to get Tom Henke warming up. As suddenly the Angels now have a big chance to extend this lead. They would love to get some insurance against the Toronto offense that lit them up in Game 1. Acker will get the sign from Witt. Jones waits for the pitch. Acker will set. Here's the kick, and here comes the pitch. That is a 538. That is into Upshaw again. That is a base hit into right field. They're not going to wave. They're not going to wave Downing home on that one. But the bases are full of halos. The infield has to come in. The batter now is DeCinces. DeCinces tonight is 0 for 3. That is going to be it for Acker. He just did not have the right stuff tonight. The Blue Jays are trying to head a disaster off here of their own. They're in danger of wasting a pretty good outing by Alexander, if I'm being perfectly honest. Coming in to pitch for the Angels, and still nobody out in the inning. I should say coming in to pitch for the Blue Jays, just to try to stop the bleeding a little bit here, is going to be Tom Henke. 3-3 with a 2.03 ERA. 40 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, 8 walks, 4 home runs, and 85. He will be the pitcher to try to stop the bleeding. Henke looking around at Downing at third, Jackson at second, Jones at first. No place to put DeCinces. Henke will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 189. 189 is going to be a swing and a miss for DeCinces. Strike 3. That is somehow out number 1. One out, and there is still no place to put Benitez. Benitez tonight, though, is 1 for 3 with a single. We are going to get some activity in the Angels' bullpen, as the Angels want no funny business tonight. Donnie Moore is going to start warming up for California. Henke will get the sign from Witt. Fans at Anaheim Stadium are loud. They are on their feet. Henke will set, and he will pitch. That is a 219, and against a righty at 219 is going to be a swing and a miss by Benitez. He gets in front of a changeup for strike 3. That is out number 2. Two outs in the inning, and the batter now is Boone. Boone tonight is 0 for 2 with the walk. Henke is very close to getting the Blue Jays out of this disaster. Angels would love to get more insurance. Henke will get the sign from Witt. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 636. That'll turn into a 646 and be a ground ball right over to second. Grabbing that one is going to be Garcia. He will throw that over to Fernandez at short, and that will retire the side. Stadium groans. Ugh. But the Angels take the lead on 1 run, 4 hits, including a triple. Tom Henke coming in to stop the carnage. The Angels holding only a 3-2 lead. But will we see some 9th inning magic? If you're the Angels, you have got to be guarding against the possibility of 9th inning magic here for the Blue Jays. The Angels load the bases, but they get nothing out of it. Actually, they get 1 run out of it. Slayton is going to come out of the game. The Angels are going to try to finish this game right here. Coming in to pitch for California is going to be Donnie Moore, 8-8 with 31 saves, a 1.92 ERA, 103 innings pitched, 72 strikeouts, 21 walks, 9 home runs in 85. He will have the middle of the Blue Jays order to deal with. Here's Mullinix. Mullinix tonight is 1 for 2 with a double and a walk. Moore will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Fans at Anaheim Stadium are loud. Angels are 3 outs away from tying this series. Moore will set, and he will pitch. That is a 654. 654 is going to be a ground ball over to third. DeCinces will grab that one. He'll have no trouble with it. He'll throw that over to first. 1 out in the inning. Stadium cheers. Yay! Here's Mosby. Mosby tonight is 0 for 3. The Angels are 2 outs away from going to Canada with a best-of-3 series. Moore will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 228 against a lefty. A 228 is going to be a ground ball right back to Moore. He will throw that over to Benitez at first. 2 outs in the inning. And the last chance for the Blue Jays comes to Ernie Witt. Witt tonight is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Moore trying to get this series tied. Witt trying to extend the game. Moore will get the sign from Boone. Anaheim Stadium is loud. Moore will set. Here comes the pitch. 661. And a 661 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Schofield will grab that one. He'll pump once, pump twice, throw to first. That's your game. The California Angels hold off a rush from the Toronto Blue Jays. They will take this one by a final score of 3-2, and this series is tied at 1 game apiece. Stadium cheers. Yay! What? Oh. Final line score coming up. Actually, let me just make that a G6 so I don't get anything stupid happening here. Digital Diamond did something weird, I think because I put in a G6-1 for some reason. Let's just make that a G6. There we go. And yes, indeed, this series is tied at a game apiece. I'm just waiting for the box score to generate here. There we go. For the Angels, 3 runs on 10 hits and no errors. For the Blue Jays, 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Winning pitcher tonight is going to be Jim Slayton. Tom Henke, Jim Acker will take the loss, and Donnie Moore will end up with the save. And that will do it for this playthrough for this Game 2 of Season Ticket Baseball between Toronto and California. Yes, I am doing a 2-2-1 format for the Division Series. The LCS and the World Series will be a 2-3-2 format. So this series is going to Canada tied now as a best of 3. Tomorrow afternoon, we will be at Dodger Stadium for Game 2 between the Montreal Expos and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Bryn Smith will be going for the Expos, and Fernando Valenzuela will be going for the Dodgers. That should be a great pitching matchup. Before we get there, though, tomorrow morning, we are playing Arc Nova from Vierland Spiel. And after that, Wednesday, we will be debuting Invaders from Dimension X from Tiny Battle Publishing. And yep, this one was down to the wire. And Saturday next week, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the Dungeons and Dragons Flavors of the Multiverse cookbook as we make the side Tavern Noodles. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone. The California Angels get a clutch run in the bottom of the... Get 3 runs in the second half of the game to take a 3-2 victory and even this series at a game apiece. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow for either stream.